We are presently at Kwata Junction, Oka, and we are out in the field to really find out the level of awareness of Anambra as it concerns the cholera outbreak that is ravaging the nation. Let's find out actually how much they know about the cholera and what they are doing about it.
Cholera, but made the preventions. I use the necessary things I could use when they put here.
Cholera, the go again. I'm unboardable.
Say heard about the news of a cholera outbreak in the country, and in Anambra in particular, we've not much have been heard about it. The awareness have been relatively low, but we've received assurances from the Minister of Health to the Commissioner, who said that so far no case has been recorded in Anambra.
So we have recent outbreak of cholera in Nigeria. For my own side and my family, I think personal hygiene will go a long way in curtailing this outbreak.
What I can do is to keep my environment clean because of the virus.
Onye sị na amaghị ya bụ cholera mana nọ na-agha onwe agha. Ga anyị nwa bụ ndị jela akwụkwọ arakụziwela anya n'ụtụtụ from school as one of the waterborne disease. So agwana m ndị be m. So where they can neatness. Avoid drinking contaminated water.
I'm just hearing about the cholera this morning. No, I didn't know anything about it.
I protect myself or keep myself clean.
Cholera no change kemwa. Here they put one here dirty environment. Number one. Here madinelli no. Number two. Onye na-agagharị n'ụzọ na-adụ suppose inwe hand sanitizer. Sorudo n'onwe. Onwe ike ime ka sanitizer ruo onye ọbụla aka.
The only solution bụ mmadụ ịdị careful about ihe ọbụla ị na-eme ịkwọ aka gị ọfụma, especially ihe ga-etinye n'ọnụ.
Enwere ụmụ pure water anyị na-aṅụ magasị ma mmiri a na-aṅụ kịta na ihe isi ike a na-erizi nri anyhow. So ihe ndị a niile so bute that cholera. So ihe dị mkpa ka anyị kpachapụ anya mmiri anyị na-aṅụ mmiri maka ebe ahụ na ihe a na-aṅụtakarị na mmiri ka ọ na-abụ.
The most important thing people should be doing is make sure that the environment is clean. If they want to eat anything, they have to eat something that is hot. Then let them be anxious of anything they are eating, including water.
I'm a numaka, and I'm not on the radio steady. Oh, it devil the environment, Osha. More even a wall to get all that. I want to know from about because we're not contacted. We
are trying to clean our environment, make sure that everywhere is clean. Yeah, all this dirty, debris around the house, we used to pack them away.
We've gone to the field actually to find out the level of awareness of Anambra concerning the cholera outbreak ravaging the nation presently. We see that the media has a lot of work to still do in ensuring that people get to know and understand the ravaging nature of this cholera outbreak, and of course to enlighten them on what to do to ensure that it doesn't get to them or their families, which is one of what we are doing, or part of what we are doing here this morning, to actually let people know that this outbreak is real, and once it's happening in one state, nobody knows it can enter another state. We now get to the studio where we sit with the medical doctor to really talk about the cholera, the causes, the symptoms, the signs, and of course the precautionary measures we have to take to ensure that we fight cholera outbreak to a standstill. All right, you're welcome to the live studios of Healthitude. Today on Healthitude, we are going to talk about cholera outbreak, all you need to know about cholera. In the studio, we've been joined by a medical practitioner. He's a general practitioner and he is immediate past Secretary General, Nigeria Medical Association, and past Chairman NMA, Anambra State Chapter. I'm talking about Dr. Jide Onyekwelo. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to have you.
My pleasure.
All right, my name is Nonye Nwokoye. Now, Doctor, we went to the streets to really find out the level of awareness of our people concerning the cholera outbreak that is currently ravaging our nation, Nigeria. And we found out that some people are not even aware of what is happening. Some knew, but they are not even concerned. They don't want to, they are not doing anything about it, whether to protect themselves or their families. While some people are aware, and of course they are trying to keep their environment clean, according to the reports they gave us. Now, you know, the general picture, what do you think of the general situation of our people?
Thank you very much for that question and for discussing this topic at this point in time. Cholera is acute diarrheal disease, what people call otoro in Igbo. It's been there for a long time. It comes as epidemics and also as pandemics. Now, there's an epidemic of cholera in Nigeria. In fact, about 31 states already have cases in them. And people here in Anambra may not be aware because it has not entered Anambra. But your program is very apt because some neighboring states to Anambra already have cases. I'm aware that Abia has reported some cases, Delta has reported some cases, and Ebonyi, but Anambra has not. So the awareness may not be there because cases have not started coming or being reported from Anambra. But it is very important that people know about the disease, know how to prevent it, let it not enter, because once it enters, it will spread. And the danger is now that mobility of people move from state to state, you know, disease also moves from state to state at a very fast rate. So your program is very good so that we'll be able to tell the people what the disease is, and how to prevent it, and how to manage it if it comes.
All right. Now, there is this saying that something don't just happen. There must be a cause. What actually is the cause of cholera?
Cholera, like I told you, is acute diarrheal disease. It's caused by bacteria that is called Vibrio cholera. Vibrio cholera is bacteria that lives in, there's a type of water it lives. Ocean water contains a lot of salt, so it doesn't live in ocean water. Spring water and rainwater that forms ponds don't contain salt at all, or very little salt, so it does not live there. But what is called brackish water, where we have a combination, a mixture of ocean water and other water that does not contain salt. It's called brackish water. That is where Vibrio cholera lives. It's its normal habitat. Now, when somebody gets infected with cholera, the person has diarrhea, profuse diarrhea. Diarrhea that person keeps passing watery stool until the person exsanguinates. The person gets dehydrated and die. Now, when the patient that has this cholera passes stool that contains this Vibrio cholera, and somehow that stool enters somebody's mouth, it is transmitted by fecal-oral route. Fecal means fecal matter. Okay. Then oral means oral, by mouth. It's when this contaminated stool finds its way to another person's mouth, the person gets infected. If you say it just bluntly, it will seem as if people eat shit. But in real sense of it, anybody that has cholera must have eaten shit. But there are many methods expressed. It's not just like the person has eaten shit. So if somebody passes stool, and the stool that contains the Vibrio cholera enters the water that another person will drink, and you drink it, you get infected. If it enters the food you want to eat, and you eat it, maybe as time goes on, I'll describe specific ways these things are transmitted. But once the Vibrio cholera in the stool that an infected person has passed enters the drinking water or food, or somehow enters another person's mouth, the person gets infected. This is the way it happens.
Okay, but is it seasonal? Is cholera seasonal?
Yes, like I told you, it's from fecal-oral. If somebody passes the stool, now people do open defecation, unfortunately, but it's a sad commentary on Nigeria. I wonder if there's any state, probably one state in Nigeria, I don't know the name of this state again, that has zero prevalence of open defecation. Whereas almost everywhere, people defecate in the open. If you defecate in the open and rain does not fall to wash this fecal matter into the stream that people drink, you may not get infected. But during the rainy season, when rain falls, it washes this fecal matter into the spring or into the water people drink. The person who goes to fetch water will not know that it has
So automatically it happened during rainy
yes,
season.
More
okay, rainy season.
Now it happens more when there is, like now we're having environmental issues where the ocean level is rising and seawater is coming into the hinterlands to mix with the springs and other water we have around, and overflooding from rain that carries seawater to the hinterlands. Now, you see, it's a very good culture medium for this cholera, Vibrio cholera, to live. So it's more during rainy season where you have overflooding, a mixture of ocean sea with natural water in the hinterlands. Then it also happens where you have crowded people, like in internally displaced people's homes, orphanage, prisons. So once it enters there, it goes around. Once people, the proper hygiene and environmental sanitation is not taken care of, it goes around. So it's more in these areas.
All right. The program is Healthitude, coming to you from ABS television, and we are looking at cholera outbreak, what we need to know about it. My name is Nonye Ngokwe, remember that, and we're going to take a very short break here. The program returns after now. Do join us again. You're welcome back to Healthitude, our health enlightenment program. Now we are talking about cholera outbreak, all we need to know about cholera, with Dr. Jide Onyekwalo in the studio. Now, Doc, how do we know, or how can somebody actually know that he or she has been infected with cholera? In other words, the signs and symptoms of cholera.
The first sign is diarrhea. Frank watery stool, profuse watery stool. If somebody gets infected, usually within 1 or 2 days, the symptom starts. Some can last up to 4 days, but usually, so it can even as fast as 12 hours, but usually within 1 or 2 days of infection, person starts having profuse stool, plenty of stool, that will make the person to be weak immediately, and if it's not treated, person can die. In fact, out of about 3 to 4%, out of 100 people that have infection, 2 or 3 will die. So it is that bad. But it can be treated by rehydrating the person. Taking oral rehydration solution.
That could be as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. They take the person to hospital. If the person is weak, rehydrate with intravenous infusions and give some antibiotics to kill the infection, and the person will not die. But if you wait for a long time and the person passes all the water and all the electrolytes in the person's body, he will faint and he will die. So it is that morbid and is that mortal.
Now, Doc, I don't know, you can help us here because you know our people in this part of the world, how we manage our health issues. Now, tell us the number of hours one has to wait before making a drastic step to help the person. Because some people may say, let's just wait. Let's wait and see till tomorrow. Maybe the thing started in the night. You know, I wanted to, sound it sternly for people to understand the need to seek for medical attention as soon as possible.
See, it's important I state this. All diarrhea is not cholera. But cholera comes with diarrhea. And what makes cholera diarrhea different is that it is spurious, it is profuse. If somebody eats something that is not good, something that the body does not tolerate, They can pass frequent stool, small quantity, slimy sometimes, or even watery. Small quantity, no problem. But if you go to the toilet and it goes out like that, and a few minutes after you have the urge, you go to hospital.
Immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
So in 12 hours time, the person will start having serious problems. Go to hospital immediately. And if you don't have access to hospital, take salt sugar solution to replace what you are passing, because that fecal matter, that watery stool you are passing, is not just water. It contains what is called electrolyte or salt. If you taste it, but not taste it. But if you taste it, you see that it's salty. It's not frank water. So take salt sugar solution while you make arrangement to go to hospital. And best thing is go to hospital so that you'll be given drugs to kill the bacteria that is causing the diarrhea. Then you get rehydrated and you recover. The recovery is dramatic. It's dramatic. Also is the death. It's dramatic. Somebody will be talking with in the morning, by the evening, the ear is very sick or is even dead. You'll be wondering what happened to this person. But once this profuse diarrhea is there, and more so when there's an epidemic of it, of course, you know that is cholera.
Okay. And now, when we talk about the signs and symptoms, the next thing is the effect it can have on the entire system. And of course, when is there a time you say it's not treated well, that it could cause other problem for the individual affected?
Yes. I mean the problem on healthcare delivery system?
No, the effect of cholera on an individual, especially when it is not handled very well. Then can we say, is there a time it's not handled well?
Yes. If you don't notice it early and start treatment early, it causes dehydration. Dehydration means that you've passed out all the fluid in your body. And when you get dehydrated, some organs in your body will not function well, like the kidney will not function well. If you get severely dehydrated, you can get what is called renal shutdown. That is how it kills. But if you detect it early and rehydrate by taking oral salt sugar solution and going to hospital to stop the infection progress and rehydrate yourself, it doesn't kill. It shouldn't kill. So cholera is completely treatable and completely preventable.
So it's something we can manage easily if we do what we ought to do. Now, are there high-risk areas of people getting cholera? Because recently we're hearing of Lagos and Ogun State, but you've mentioned Abia State here, and of course Delta State. So are there risk areas? Areas that this can happen very often?
Yes. Areas, villages that depend on spring water for their drinking water. Once the infection enters that spring water, it spreads around all those communities that use that spring water for their drinking water. So it happens in such communities where you have poor sanitation, where people do open defecation. Now it happens in overcrowded areas, like I said before, in prisons, in IDPs. It happens in those areas. It happens in areas that live around areas that are easily overflooded by flood. When it rains, you have flooding, what they call Iju in Igbo. Where we have flooding. Because the sea water and the spring water, when they mix, they form a very good habitat for the Vibrio cholera. So people living around that areas that get swampy, flooded, and people that live in communities where you don't have good environmental sanitation, where people defecate in the open, people that drink water that is not properly treated, because I'm sure we're going to talk about prevention. Where you get water that you don't trust, you boil it and filter it. It kills the germs, the bacteria. So these are the areas that are prone.
All right, and now with this popular saying that prevention is always better than cure, how do we prevent ourselves from getting cholera? But I think we're going to take a short break here. When we return, we begin to talk about the prevention. The program is Healthitude on ABS television. Another short break here. We'll be right back shortly. You're welcome back to Healthitude, the Health Enlightenment Program. We're talking cholera outbreak, which is currently in the land, and of course, all we need to know about it with Dr. Jide Onyekwelo right here in the studio. Now, Doc, how do we prevent cholera?
Prevention is by making sure that you drink water you know that is clean, water that is not infected.
Okay.
Drink bottled water, sachet water that you know the source. Because I understand now in the villages and some areas, they collect water from anywhere and put it waterproof and seal. So once you drink contaminated water, you are likely to get cholera. If you get water that you don't trust, boil it and filter it and drink it. It's completely preventable. That is one. Two, let people stop defecating in the open. Go to the toilet. If you don't have WC, go to pit toilet. Defecate there. Then when you come out, wash your hand. Because this Vibrio cholera can also live on fomites. If one goes to the toilet and comes out and touches the door handle, it is deposited on the door handle. Another person goes to that toilet, touches the door handle, you've contaminated it. So if you don't wash your hand and eat, you will eat it.
Okay.
You get infected. Now, if you get fresh vegetables, angara, garden eggs, and all those vegetables from the farm, wash it thoroughly before you eat it. Because if you don't wash it, and somebody must have defecated somewhere around that place, it contaminates these vegetables. And when you eat it, you get...
Can we wash vegetables with salt?
You can.
Okay,
yes,
go ahead. Okay.
You can.
Okay.
But it's not that the salt kills it, but it's the washing, actually.
Okay.
The washing that washes off the Vibrio cholera.
Okay.
So once you make sure you don't drink contaminated water, you make sure you wash your hands, you make sure you cover your food, because fly can perch on fecal matter that contains Vibrio cholera and move and perch on somebody's food. You just clear the file and eat that food. It's eating the shit. People eat shit. People really eat shit.
Okay.
Because you cannot get cholera if you don't eat food contaminated with the bacteria. So number one, drink water that you are sure of the source. Water you know is clean, not infected. Two, wash your hands. Maintain good hygiene so that you don't contaminate your hand and from there you contaminate food you eat. Number three, fresh vegetables and food from the farm. Wash them thoroughly before you eat them. Number four, stop open defecation. Don't go and ease yourself in the open. Go to the toilet and do that. Once you take all these precautions, then for babies that are suckling, do exclusive breastfeeding. Because this disease does not care about your age.
Your age.
Happen to anybody. Once you get infected, you've gotten infected, whether you're a suckling baby or you're an adult. So babies that are in an environment where the epidemic is and being breastfed, do exclusive. Okay. That will be zero, chance of the baby getting it. But if you give water in addition to the breast milk, that water could be contaminated and that baby can get infected. Okay.
All right. I don't know. There's something somebody said. I want you to clarify us here. Is it just from drinking water that one could get cholera from? Is it just from drinking water?
Drinking water, eating contaminated food.
Okay.
Garden eggs, vegetables, pear falling from tree to the ground, you pick the pear and start eating it without washing it. Once you eat food or drink water that is contaminated with fecal matter from somebody that has cholera, you're exposed. Okay. You can easily get the infection. So it's not just water. Okay. It's anything that enters your mouth that is contaminated with that bacteria.
Now, for somebody that gets this bacteria already, what's the management? How can one manage cholera?
Once you pass through a spurious, like that, you pass again. Prepare salt, sugar solution. 1 level teaspoon of salt, 5 pieces of sugar in 1 liter of water. Drink it as much as you can. Sometimes cholera can be transient too. Yes, after a few motions, it clears on its own.
Okay.
Some people may not even have the clinical picture.
Okay.
Some people can get infected but be moving around. But they can also pass the contaminated bacteria in their stool. But once you have it, try to rehydrate yourself and go to hospital if the motion continues. If you pass 1 time, 2 times, don't wait for a 3rd time. Go to hospital. Once you go to hospital, it is very easily treatable. You don't even need a doctor to treat it. Yes.
Okay. So the management is easy. That's what you're saying. Is it easy? It's easy to manage.
Very easy. It's very easy to manage. Okay. If you wait until the person gets dehydrated and is carried to hospital, then you need a doctor to state drip and so on, and give an IV, intravenous antibiotics and so on. But if you go that time that it has not, it has not caused the patient to dehydrate very badly, it's very easy. Oral rehydration, antibiotics that will kill the bacteria in the intestine of that person, and the disease goes. Okay,
now with the latest incidence rate that's from Ogun and Lagos, investigations by Saturday Punch show that a total of 4,364 deaths had been recorded out of the 139,736 people suspected to have been infected by the disease across the country. And according since 2021, and we said that it's about 3% deaths recorded. Could you please quickly interpret that? And of course, a preferred solution of what could be done by individuals to protect ourselves from cholera, and what the government can actually do for us, to see that cholera doesn't come into Anambra State, or peradventure it comes in, what we can do about that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that is a very important question. One, I may not be very certain with the statistics in my head. I have a number of people that have been infected and not people that have died. But I know it's about 2-3%. So out of every 100, 2 or 3 people may get so bad that they will die. And that death is preventable. I've talked about what individuals should do to prevent themselves from getting the infection, whereby stopping open defecation, by making sure that they drink water that is clean. The government has a role here by providing pipe-borne water. I'm happy with what our governor, Professor Solido, is doing, especially in Onitsha. I hear now that we have pipe-borne water in Onitsha. Let him extend it everywhere so that pipe-borne water will now be taken for granted in Anambra. Once people drink clean water from the tap, cholera will go. Now, the government will also, our commissioner, Dr.
Obidike.
Afam Obidike, I saw in social media slogans and campaigns, educating people on cholera and what you should do to prevent cholera or to contain cholera. Let us have pamphlets of this message in pamphlet form and spread everywhere so that people will see it and read.
Getting down to the streets.
In the market, so that people will know that there is cholera. Or if
you can equally translate them in Igbo.
In Igbo, in languages everybody will understand. In dialects people will understand. So they know that cholera is by the corner. It's reported in Delta, reported in Abia. Let it not enter Anambra. We can prevent it if people know and do the needful to prevent themselves from getting infected. So the government has a role to play in providing pipe-borne water and educating people like we are doing now. What you are doing now is good, so that people will know that cholera is by the way. If you don't take your time, you may get it. And by knowing that when you get it, it's not a death sentence. So it's easily treatable. And you don't have to wait until you are down before you go to hospital. Like that, we will contain it if it comes. And we can also prevent it from entering Anambra.
All right, if it comes and it becomes persistent, you start rushing to the hospital. We'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Jide Onyekwelu, General Practitioner, immediate past Secretary General, Nigeria Medical Association. We thank you so much for coming today on the program.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And we'd like to appreciate you so much for watching Healthitude. Our health is our wealth. Let's take care of ourselves. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. It's a goodbye for now. Thank you so much for watching.